Hi, welcome back to another episode of Growing Pains. I'm here with my host, my mom,
Christy.
my other host, my brother.
Your boy Isaiah.
Uh, be sure to like and subscribe and shoot those numbers up. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say about the podcast. And to start today, we're going to start with a current topic, a hot trending topic. Isaiah or mom, you take it away.
Okay, so me and Isaiah were listening to the radio, and they had a story about I guess a couple. They were about to go on their first date, and the guy had a break-in his car the morning of the date, I guess. So he called her and was like, I'm gonna have to reschedule the date. I'm not gonna be able to make it. Somebody broke in my car. I gotta deal with all this stuff all day. So she was like, Uh, well, she told him that she was gonna charge him a cancellation fee. So she told him she had to send uh, her $50, and the guy was like, okay, well, send me the request, the Cash App request. He sent her the $50, and then I guess when she saw he sent the $50, she was like, oh, I was gonna ask you for $100 for the cancellation fee, and he was like, bet. He sent the next $50. He sent her $100. But the kicker part was she was talking about she was already gonna cancel the date because she saw that it was gonna rain. So, um, yeah, that was the story. That's what y'all got going on in your generation.
Hey, don't say that. I'm not out here handing $100 to people. From what I understand, he asked her out on a date and was planning on going.
Right, for sure.
Something unfortunate happened that he had no control over.
Exactly.
And he still was willing to give her money. Better
Yeah.
man than me.
Yeah.
Would you say he's a trick?
I would. I think he stood on his moral since it was something he wanted and had to cancel on.
Right.
I think that was more of like a showing of his upbringing because
Right.
he was like, well, I did want this, but it is my fault it's not happening. And
Right.
she was
I think
probably
he's just a stand-up guy.
yeah. I think he was thinking she was looking forward to it, and when the matter of fact is she wasn't. But and he was just like, well, I got her hopes up and wasted some of her time to get ready and stuff.
Right.
So
Well, she didn't get ready. He called
yeah,
her that
yeah,
morning because they broke in his car. He was going to work. He noticed that his car was broken into. I mean, the complete lack of compassion
yeah,
and empathy there. For you to be like, if somebody call you, be like, hey, I got my car broken into. And you're like, cash out me $50 because you cancel it. I mean, that's some gall right there. For sure.
So would you say if it's bad if a man had a
well,
cancellation
I'm
what's
fee?
the
sure
man?
there's some of these dudes
'Cause,
out here. I got a
at this
cancellation
point,
fee. I can't with you.
in
No,
this
if you charge
generation,
somebody a cancellation fee, I'm gonna come whoop you myself.
in this generation, you know,
What
trick.
you?
I'm just saying. Like,
Why? What you
I'm just
doing it for?
saying.
What you doing it for? Just be like, okay, and move on. Like a
Right.
normal person.
That's it.
Just-
I wish somebody would. I'd be like blocked.
And I was like, you went what?
He
I
should
got
have blocked
broken in-
her.
I got broken into. I might need this
Right.
100.
Exactly.
That's-
Yeah,
that's-
she ain't
that's
thought about
crazy.
nothing. He should have blocked her ass.
I feel like she just, let that her his problem just let it go over her head. It's like, all right, just send me my money.
Right. It was
Yeah.
very selfish. It was just
Yeah, she
There
probably
was
didn't.
no.
She probably saw a date was canceled and went, oh,
Oh
well,
well, right.
yeah.
I wasn't gonna go anyway
Right,
because it's
yeah.
raining and I didn't want to get my hair wet. So yeah, I thought that was crazy. I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I could not. It'd be an immediate. I got my car broken into, and you're asking me for money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't even cuss her out her. I was like, yeah, just hang up.
I
Yeah,
think
just no.
Humanity is at an all-time low.
See, but when you find the highs, they're real high.
Right. Yeah. When you find the gem, they are a real gem. They stand out from the rest.
That's why I keep digging.
There you go. I like that. I feel like we was at a poetry slam. I need to snap on that one.
All right. Into the main topics. Today we're going to talk about Black History Month as February is coming to a close here soon in the next couple of weeks. We wanted to get in and talk about it. I'll hand it over to my other co-host, my brother.
So. I want to know, what does Black History mean to you? Just, you know the meaning of it, but what does it mean to you?
Yeah. That's a good question. I've never really thought about that. It's kind of just been something I've, lived with. I think because a lot of Black history isn't taught or, given to you in, an ease of access way, much of history is. You have to, go out and look for it. And good thing for me, I had a mom who forced me to go out and look for it, because I wouldn't know, a lot of the stuff I know now about Black history. And I think a lot of Black history gets overshadowed because it's just not as apparent. And I don't, it's a bad thing because I feel like more people should know about it. But I think once you come to understand all the things that African Americans and black people in general have done for America and Black people across the world have done for the pushing of modern culture, and things we commonly use today,
Right.
that not many people know about, is a cool thing, because it's you now have a piece of knowledge that not everybody will ever get in their normal day to day, but you own it, and you can just go back and be happy that I, as a Black man, am a part of progressing that impact on history.
All right.
Damn,
Right.
that was deep.
That was good.
That was deep.
Yeah, I was appalled at the sheer lack of Black history that you learned in school. But when we moved to Texas, it's crazy that California teaches more Black history than Texas. But Black history to me, I think you're right. I think we tend to focus on a lot of the negative side of history, and when we talk about Black history, when there's so much more positive contributions and stuff like that. People don't know all of the Black inventors, or everyday stuff that you use. You
Black
don't know.
philosophers,
Right.
a good amount of those that have
Black poets. When I was young, I fell in love with Langston Hughes and his poetry. I had a bunch of books. I don't know about the Black writers, and Black music is crazy beyond hip hop and all that stuff. But just to study all the genres, and people are acting Black people weren't a part of country music.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that that we pass that down. I had some really great teachers from when I was very young. I think I got a good sense of Black history in private school. I went to private school, so I had a good sense of Black history because I went to private school in the hood in California. So, Black history was a big thing for us. And so I was learning early. And then when I was in college, I had some excellent professors who went deep into Black history. And then I took some, world history, Latin American. And I had a Black teacher. And we further went into more Black history outside of the United States. So it wasn't so focused on slavery and all that stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's all encompassing. It's enriching, like it inspires you. Um, Sometimes it makes you very angry and sad, and and I try not to hold on to that because I got to work with these people, and but but yeah, it's good for you to know so you can progress forward. I think that we are more than our negative history, and that more of that needs to be focused on in the media and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. Like, focus on the positives. Because all anybody talks about in Black history is like slavery
Right.
or the civil rights movement.
Hmm.
They don't talk about like the things that were happening in between those points, or the
Right.
people that were doing things in between those points.
Right.
Like
Or the civilizations that
things like
existed
existed
way
like
before.
yeah,
Yeah, like before all that, before we were enslaved here. You know, that's all part of our history. We don't know our. I think a lot of Christianity erased a lot of our culture.
yeah.
So we don't know a lot of that stuff. And you have to go, like you said, you have to go search for it and look for it and learn more about who we are and where we came from.
You heard that the information is out there. Go find
Oh,
it.
for sure, the information is everywhere.
I'm
I
like,
know
it's
I
at
know
the
y'all
tips
don't
of
go
your
to
fingers.
libraries anymore, but the library's online now.
Yeah, I was like, it's
Yeah.
at the tip of your fingertips. Just tap it in.
Right. Yeah, Google is your friend.
Right. What about you?
I would say Black history is more like a mod. It's more like the modern side now. I'm starting to be more connected with my culture because before, like, I went to white school, so
Yeah.
I was more connected, like not disconnected, but distant.
Yeah, it was like muffled
Yeah,
noise.
yeah. Like when I took the African American Studies class, I like there was some days she was like, if you can't take it, just like you could just walk out and she'll understand. So like there would be some days I was like, yeah, I just can't go because it talks about like our mom said there would be some days like you'll get angry and like there
Right.
was a day I got so angry I was like, yeah, I just can't come to this class right now. I need to like take a couple of days. But like I said, we still learn about like the good stuff. We learned about inventors I didn't even know about. Um, Philosophers we learned about. She even gave us like authors to read. Like she would send us like pages just to read about that author or her books and all that. So like I feel like I'm getting more connected to that. So I would say Black History is more like I'm learning more about my culture than hearing about the bad stuff every time.
Right. Your education's evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Black history is truly inspirational, especially
Mhm.
for me, as I I'm a Black nerd who does a lot of nerd stuff,
Mhm.
and as it's very interesting being in the place I'm at because I see a lot of the like people don't realize in nerd situations that they're being racist about things that don't really matter or have to do with race. So um, it's like inspirational because all of these people had to go through these trials and tribulations of their race being a mattering to what they're saying,
Mhm.
and um, it just inspires me to get what I want to say out there or what I want to do out there, and put myself in situations that would probably scare most people away, but I find them like fun and challenging because I'm trying to um, express myself in the medium that everybody else is allowed to express themselves. while also catching backlash, but I'm going to do it anyways because that's what I find fun.
Mm.
And I think it's like a good lesson for people, even non-black people. It's to just go out and do what you want to do, no matter how many people try to pull you away from what you want to do and create what you want to create.
Right. I think we are bad about that as a culture, not, limiting ourselves to saying that we can't go in these spaces because that's not black enough or such and such. I mean, that's ridiculous. I understand that. I can relate because, there was once a time when we moved from Los Angeles to Palmdale that I was the only black kid in my whole school. So, I was doing a lot of new things from moving from South Central LA to Palmdale, California. Doing a lot of, people, when I came back to South Central from living out in Palmdale for a while, they were like, I sounded too white. And you know me.
Yeah.
I was like, what does that exactly sound like?
That's funny because, as I was saying, me and him went to the same high school. Black people was like the lowest percentage of people at our school.
Not till 2018. And then now, it's back to normal.
But it was.
They got more black people at the school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was the lowest percentage of people at our school, and generally black people would only hang out with black people, and I always, it was always weird to me that was the case, because everybody's just a normal person, and like skin color did not matter, but it wasn't even because the other people were like rude about it. It's just because black people wanted you to act. The black people who went to my school wanted you to act a certain way.
Right.
And I'd always be like, why? Like my mom, they'd say I sounded white, but I just talked with an extensive vocabulary. I was like, that doesn't make me white. We could all say these words. These are okay words
Say
to
my mama made me learn words.
I was like, these are all okay words for all of us to say. Skin color does not dictate your vocabulary. It was just always so weird to me because
and that goes back to us not knowing our history. Us not knowing our history, that they are black philosophers from way back, black writers, because we don't see that. That's not broadcast.
Yeah.
We only see the, the pictures they want us to see in the media or the images they want us to see. I have to go out of my way to show you guys, positive or different or black people in history that spoke just like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, black people are doing great things all across the world. You just have to go look it up.
I mean, we have like one of the greatest orators ever for, that has one of the biggest speeches that everyone remembers. I have a dream speech.
Yeah,
and we still are harping on that. It's silly. Yeah. It's like because I grew up in Los Angeles in the hood, it's just a very hood mentality, of, keeping everybody in this little bubble.
Yeah, because like he said, it'll be just a group of black people just standing in the hallways, and it'll just be them.
Right.
And you just see people just walking past.
Yeah, and I'm sure they talked to other people. Like it was a large school with a lot of kids. I'm sure they would have been forced to talk to other people. But like generally, if you saw them outside or like away from school, it literally just be them, the group of black people. Which I know it's nice to be around people of similar backgrounds and culture.
Right.
And it makes it easier. But I think it's bad to only isolate yourself into that
Right.
because then you're not learning anything.
Right.
That's why, like, there's people who don't, like, want to go to college or college is not for them. But, like, I'll say, like, 1 year
Mm-hmm.
out of college, you'll learn, like, different cultures,
Just for the
different,
exposure, yeah.
yeah, different, other stuff than what you know.
Yeah.
But you can travel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
If
was
you
like,
don't want to go to
that, yeah.
college, I would suggest you travel and see other cultures. Like they talk about Jamaica being so dangerous now. Like the first time we went, that was a travel advisory, and we were all scared or whatever. That was the most comfortable. I was like, I have never been around this many just black people, like this many, just all black people, in so long. I was all like, this. I was like, I felt like I could just take a breath and just be, and it was great. I was like, oh, I love Jamaica. I love it. You see, I bought a souvenir, huh?
yeah, I think stepping out of your comfort zone is like a good thing. Because everybody gets complacent when they're comfortable, and it very much halts progress. And like if you want to do something, you gotta step out of your comfort zone because it gets you thinking. It gets you actively progressing forward because you're trying to get back to comfort. So like as soon as you step out of your comfort zone and that thing that's making you uncomfortable starts to feel normal, natural,
Right.
comfortable, you know you've made progress forward.
That's true. That's true.
Alrighty. Next question.
So, what was your experience like learning Black history? I know you said a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Well, I went to public school all of my life. All of my life, yeah, all of my life.
Yeah, you went to public school.
And in that public school, we'd always learn about the same things. We'd always learn about the "I Have a Dream" speech. We'd learn about. We didn't like delve too deep into slavery. We'd get like the big points, like Harriet Tubman, and the Underground Railroad. I didn't learn about that black people fought in the war until in high school, from school. I didn't learn about that until high school, and that's just because I was in AP classes. We had to learn about that.
Civil War.
Yeah. So it wasn't much. There was not like too in depth talk about it. It was just about the creation of Texas or the creation of the U.S. It was not like too many in-depth details about black people in either of that. We just get Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King. We didn't even learn about Malcolm X in school. I had to learn about that out of school. Um, and that's pretty much all we learned about in schooling. Out of school, my mom would take us to go to museums and we'd go to the library and learn about this stuff. And she'd also give us articles to read to make sure we understood where we came from. So I got more of an in-depth learning on through the teachings of my mom and grandma than I ever did in school about Black history and history in general, because they don't really delve too deep into that stuff. So being forced to go outside, you get to learn about just the other parts of history that you touch on in school and through all those readings.
damn, you being deep. Like, what happened?
What? I'm literally just saying what's off the top of my head.
But my experience was I feel like I learned more Black history in elementary school.
Probably.
Like the different types of Black folk tales and all that. Like I learned all
forgot
that.
about those, yeah.
Like that's what I remember learning. Like high school, we kind of learned it, but I was in regular classes. So middle school, we had one day where we learned it basically because it was Black History Month. So
Yeah, didn't you love having to sit down and listen to the "I Have a Dream" speech 4 times throughout the week?
yeah,
Four
Right.
times?
that was annoying.
It's the full speech we had to get through, but classes weren't that long.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
So they'll rewind it and
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
find where we went.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah, can I go to the bathroom? And I'll just leave.
Really? Man,
I
was
came
that
back.
what you were doing?
hey,
Came
hey,
back.
that would be about the 8th time we would have heard the "I Have a Dream" speech.
Yeah.
I think after 8, you've learned what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the things like we learned, I would say I learned about was mostly like MLK. We learned about Barack for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Wow.
I was surprised about that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we learned about Michelle too in my class too.
Their classes were more
Like we
in-depth.
learned, we went from we went. It was weird because we went from Rosa Parks, like the older people, all the way up to whenever Barack was president. Yeah, and Michelle Obama, and that was like, I forgot what class that was, but I think I had like a black teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I think I had a black history teacher. So yeah, he was like, yeah, we're gonna learn about all that. Yeah, we did that all February. But yeah, that was the most I learned. But yeah, we didn't learn what I wanted to learn, like black athletes, black
Right.
writers, art. Like I wanted to learn about like the culture, not the like. Mostly, I want to learn about the culture of black culture. Like the history is cool, but I'd rather learn about the black culture.
Right.
But yeah. But whenever we learned about the history, I was like, interesting. That like whenever they talked about Barack, I was like, it's crazy because we have to write a paper about. Like,
Wow.
I think that was at Blinn. I think it was. Yeah.
Interesting.
So-
I think mine was like Isaiah said. I think the bulk of it was K through 8. Like I said, I went to private school, so K through 6th grade, I was in Los Angeles. Yeah, I was in Los Angeles. So I went to school in Los Angeles. I had black teachers, black history. I mean, black figures or whatever. We would write reports. We'd have, people up on the board, and we'd have to, talk about that person with the class. I just remember a lot of like activities and stuff about black historical figures. I don't think we ever listened to the "I Have a Dream" speech in entirety. We heard snippets of it. I probably listened to the whole speech with my dad or something. But I think I got a lot of stuff probably from my dad, who, he was born in 1932. So he lived a lot of history. So he would tell me stories and stuff like that. And then, like, I guess my high school experience was probably similar to you guys's, because, it was very little in there. I had a AP US history teacher who was real in depth in that, but like we talked about the Civil War, slavery, and stuff like that. We focused on most of that stuff, but we read books and stuff like that. I probably read a lot of books in literature classes that were written by black writers and stuff like that. So I probably learned that. But yeah, the bulk of learning I like about, who invented this, who invented that, who wrote that, probably K through 8. Yeah.
I do have to give that to my A push teacher, my AP US history teacher. He was like very in depth. He would talk about the good and bad of everything,
Right.
which I enjoyed. That's what I liked about his class because he was not scared to tell us what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't going to sugarcoat anything. He was just going to tell history as it is.
All right.
So I did learn a lot from him because he talked about the like goods and bads of slavery, like what happened, and like he was like in depth and let us know. And he talked about presidential choices, and he would give his opinions, but he would always like preface with it like this is my opinion
Right.
on how these things were run and everything. And I think that was like an eye-opening experience for me in viewing history because it's history is always given to you in the shade that whoever's telling you wants to be given it to you in.
Right.
There's no like objectiveness to it because that's just how history is told.
Right.
And that teacher was like very. This is what I'm supposed to teach you. This is what I'm going to teach you.
Right.
What you take from it is what you take from it. You can form your own opinions based off of what I tell you.
Yeah.
And he would always let you like combat him and like talk to him, and he will listen to your points, and then either correct you or try to help you formulate your point better, which was I think is a good way for a teacher to be because it lets you think as your own person.
Right. Yeah, my AP US history teacher was the same way. Yeah, he had opinions about things, and he gave us both sides. And I think sometimes he gave us like the real thing of what was actually going on. He broke it down so we understand more. It wasn't like sugar coated like most things. And yeah, Mr. Gavel. I still remember his name, so you know it's an impactful class because that was a long time ago. And I still know a lot of things just from that class. Yeah.
Yeah, mine wasn't that long ago, but he's the only like teacher I truly remember, other than like my choir teacher. But I hung out with all of my choir teachers. I hung out with them for like too many hours of my day.
All right.
Most days, but he's like the only like schooling teacher I truly remember, and that's Mr. Bendick.
Mr. Bendick. I remember him.
Yeah, I don't remember anymore.
I don't remember none.
I remember one, but I can't say that name. Shout out 5th grade. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know. I knew what he was talking about. I knew what he was talking about.
My mentors.
I can't.
All right, get to the next one.
Do you think parents should be more involved with teaching their children Black history and the culture?
I'll go first.
I was like, as the only parent at the
Definitely. Do not trust these schools to teach your children about Black history, or do the research yourself and teach your kids, have them do activities, take them to museums, give them a broader picture of what Black history was, because all they're going to get, you see from what Jonah said, they're going to get the basics, the hot points, and they're, mostly negative hot points. So, show them what a wide and, kind of royal culture we have. So you have to go more in depth as a parent and put some time in. And it's fun. We have fun going to. You guys even miss going to cultural events. They came to me in later years when I stopped when they got older because I thought they were bored. Mom, we haven't done anything cultural in a long time. I said, oh, y'all like that? You act like I was dragging you there before. But they actually liked it deep down, and it was fun family activities. Yeah.
All right. From the point of view of a kid, and I think yes, because I'm going to broaden this question. Should parents be involved in teaching history? Period. I believe yes, because um, uh, there's many different cultures out there that just don't get talked about,
Right.
like just point blank. Period. So I think just letting your kids know where they came from, what the people that were behind them, their ancestors. I think letting them experience that and get all the information they can, so they as they go forward, their opinions of themselves and the things they do can have like a more weighted meaning. I think I don't think I would choose to do what I am doing now in the way I do it without knowing about other people have walked my similar path, because I think um, there's a lot of daunting tasks out there, and I've walked through a lot of scary situations where I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean I'm doing the wrong thing. So I think having the knowledge of history behind me allows me to make uh, smart choices to not
Limit yourself.
destroy my path.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't limit you. Don't limit yourself. You're like, oh, okay, that was done before me, so maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
Or, maybe I can expand on that idea that they had.
Yeah, I feel like from a child's point of view, I would say I learned the bulk of my culture through my family, just by like taking bits and pieces through everyone, through like the history they, I guess, learned through their parents and everything. So I'll say, yeah, parents should learn, like, even our even our mom would, like, it won't even be like Black history. It'll be like just regular history, like things that you didn't think you would know. Like, it would just be just a hot take, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
like, yeah, like, it doesn't even have to be like a
True.
full like story or something. It can be like just a picture. You can just send it, be like, here, this something, and then tell them what it is, or just like, like, I'm gonna be honest.
They talking about me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So like you might not look at it right away, but you would be like, okay, cool. I got something to look at and discover what it is, or like, yeah, like it could just be like anything. It could be a game. It could be, you could just make it fun.
Right.
Cause like that's how our mom got us to learn more history and cultural things. Cause she just made it fun.
Yeah. I also think that if you're like shying away from it, or like trying to like not give the information to your kid, is also teaching your kid history, but in a way you're not like conscious of.
Right.
Because if you're scared of your history,
Mm-hmm.
that's inadvertently going to make your kid scared of their history, and then they're going to latch on to something that you will say is okay.
Right.
And if it's not okay to be who they are, then they're going to try to be something else.
Well, yeah. Well, like we see all across the nation, they're altering the textbooks. Texas has been altering the textbooks for a while now. People are just noticing because it happened in Florida. But Texas makes most of the textbooks for the United States. and they've been slowly deleting stuff for a while. But like you guys will come home with certain things, and it'll be in your textbook, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you the real story. But when you write your report, we gotta keep it what your teacher is teaching you. But so you have to sometimes give them the real on what happened in history, because everything in that textbook is not accurate.
I also remember, you know how they talk about the Rosa Parks thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, they taught us before that happened. They taught us, like, the events on how that became.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Montgomery bus.
Yeah.
No, it was like it was a boycott before that, right?
Yeah.
I remember them showing us the video of it. Like,
Right.
Yeah. So that's when I was like, okay, this teacher is more like that, because most teachers won't show. They would be like, oh, that's too gruesome to show. Or,
Too hard on.
Did
Yeah.
they show you when they desegregated schools? I know we
Yeah.
saw that a lot.
Yeah.
We saw that a lot.
Yeah,
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an A push. Yeah.
And they were like throwing stuff at
Plessy versus Ferguson.
and they're like throwing stuff at the black kids
Right.
as they were walking to school.
Right.
Well, they were forced to walk to school.
Right.
I remember the teacher there. I do remember the teacher. Coach Britton. That's who showed us.
It's always a coach. Mine was a coach too. He was
Mine
the
was-
basketball coach.
Mine
She
was
was the
married to
basketball
the basketball coach.
He
Yeah.
was the basketball coach.
Yeah. So I guess the basketball coach teaches history. Yeah.
Because I was like, it had to be someone. Because he didn't care. He's like, y'all want to see it? Cool. Bet. We can show it.
We
I'm
watched
like,
it.
bet. Yeah. That was a fun class.
I think the hard watches always like give a good lesson.
Right. I couldn't watch that 10 Years a Slave, that movie. Did you guys see that one?
No.
I
No.
couldn't make it through it. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do
A
it.
book I read when I was probably too young, but it's just because my reading level was so high. Was the book about Emmett Till.
Oh yeah.
I think that was probably one of my hardest reads to ever
Yeah.
get through,
Yeah.
because that story, like, is jarring, especially for somebody who is like probably in like 5th or 6th grade.
Right.
But I'm happy I read it, because it really showed how like evil the world was and can be, because that boy didn't do anything.
Right.
That's why I watch Blacklist.
Not nothing. You so
I'm on season 9.
I
So-
can't.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That shows how the world is.
Really? Yes.
I was not expecting.
Me neither. He just got out of nowhere. That's why I watched Blacklist.
I love that segue off of Emmett Till.
Right, right. That's such an Aries response. You gonna do some Black Ops stuff to people. That's probably why I would have went with it if I was the mama.
Oh, gosh. But
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So that was a good little discussion on Black history. I think I've asked you guys because I was concerned, but I never have went this in depth with you guys about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we probably need to start doing some more things like that with little Lena Bina.
Yeah, I think we could also
And
grab the
Anaya.
other gremlins.
Right, as I say, Anaya and the other kids.
Yeah.
God always start them young. Always start them young.
Yeah, because the
I
more
think it gives you a better sense of self. You know, when you're, you have good role models in your family and stuff. But it's nice to know that, that my ancestors did this, my
Yeah.
ancestors did that,
I
and even like you need to learn about people in your family. Like, I don't know a lot about my dad's family, but I know like they were like big basketball players and they did some bunch of stuff, and I try to learn more, but like your great grandmother was, she worked at Chevron forever, and she was like a total boss. So it's good for you to know stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
Your grandfather had his own garage and all that stuff. That's big things, in the time that they lived in, to own your own business. And so it lets you know, oh, okay, my grandfather did this. I knew my grandfather. I could do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it's good to like let people know about their history and that for, as you said, self identity. Because I've met a lot of people who are just like, I wish I wasn't black or
Right.
Asian. Like they didn't want to be who
What
they
they
were.
yeah.
Yeah, because all they're hearing is all the negative and all the bad, and it's making them like want to unravel and choose something else, be
Right.
something else, when there's just as much good and bad as there are as anything else in this world.
Right.
So, but we only hear about the bad, only know about the bad, and if you continue hearing about bad, you're like, I can't be this thing because I don't want to in turn be bad.
Right. Exactly.
That's 4 times in a row. You've been deep thoughts.
She dropping that knowledge on you tonight.
Isaiah said we're gonna have to fight after this and continue being deep.
But to end this podcast, I have a quote.
Ready.
It says, when you heal, you don't just lose those who aren't aligned. You also find those who are. Solitude guides you to your community.
That's good. That's good.
That's deep.
Thank you.
Yes. That's why that meditation is important.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty, that's gonna be it from us today at Growing Painz. As I said, I'm here, Jonah, my first co-host, my mom.
Mom, Christy.
And the host,
Second co-host,
Isaiah. Thank you.
and we'll be back next week with another episode. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe. Let us know if you have any feedback.
Also, send questions.
Yeah, send questions. Give us topics. We'd like to talk about what you want to hear about.
Right.
I probably won't be this deep every episode. Apparently, it'll get me beat up. But other than that, that's it. And we'll see you later. Peace.
Bye.